Hey everyone, let's see how to disable those useless services running in the background on your Windows PC services that wastefully consume memory without serving any purpose, so your PC can continue to run smoothly. I want to be upfront about something before we start. Not every service is safe to disable for every person. I'll explain what each service does, who should and shouldn't disable it, and give you honest guidance rather than a blanket disable everything list. Follow the advice that applies to your specific situation. Let's open services. Press Windows plus R, type services.msc. Keep this window open. We'll work through each service in here. Click on any service, then press the C key in the services window to jump to the C section. Find connected user experiences and telemetry. This service is Windows Data Collection Pipeline. It monitors your usage patterns, collects diagnostic information about how you use Windows, and regularly transmits that data to Microsoft servers. Microsoft uses this to improve Windows, but the data collection happens continuously in the background, consuming CPU cycles and generating network activity, whether you ever consciously use the feature or not. If you value privacy and don't want Microsoft collecting ongoing usage data from your machine, disable this. It has zero impact on your day-to-day Windows functionality. You won't notice its absence in any practical way, except that Windows sends less data to Microsoft and uses slightly less background resources. Double-click it, set to disabled, click Stop, Apply, then OK. Press W to jump to the W section. Find Windows Error Reporting Service. When an application crashes or freezes, this service automatically collects diagnostic data about the crash and transmits it to Microsoft. The intention is that Microsoft uses this data to improve application stability. In practice, individual users almost never receive any direct benefit from submitting these reports. The information goes into aggregate datasets and you won't receive a fix to a specific crash you experienced. This service also has telemetry implications. It's another data transmission channel to Microsoft servers. If you are not interested in contributing crash data to Microsoft's improvement programs, disable it safely. It won't prevent applications from running, won't affect system stability, and won't stop you from manually submitting feedback. If you ever choose to, double-click it, set to disabled, click Stop, Apply, then OK. Now press D, Find Diagnostic Policy Service. This service runs Windows automated troubleshooting in the background. It monitors for network problems, performance issues, and hardware faults, and attempts to diagnose and resolve them automatically. If you ever had Windows pop up saying, Windows has detected a problem with your network adapter and offered to run a troubleshooter, this service is behind that. Here's the honest assessment. Windows's built-in troubleshooters have a mixed reputation for actually solving problems. They frequently diagnose issues incorrectly, suggest solutions that don't help, or simply report that they couldn't identify anything. For users who troubleshoot their PC issues manually or who don't experience frequent unexplained problems, this service provides minimal practical value while running continuously in the background. If you're comfortable diagnosing issues yourself when they arise, disable it. If you rely on Windows automated troubleshooting, leave it enabled. Double-click it, set to disabled, click Stop, Apply, then OK. Now press P, Find Program Compatibility Assistance Service. This service monitors applications as they run. It detects known compatibility issues with older or outdated software and automatically suggests compatibility fixes, like running a program in Windows 7 compatibility mode or requesting administrator privileges. For most modern software, this service is unnecessary. Current applications are designed for Windows 10 and 11 and don't have compatibility issues that need automatic detection. The service runs persistently in the background even when you're not running any legacy software. If you only use modern, regularly updated software, disable this safely. If you frequently run older applications from Windows 7 or 8 era and rely on automatic compatibility detection, leave it running. Double-click it, set to disabled, click Stop, Apply, then OK. Now press W again and find Windows Biometric Service. This service manages Windows Hello, the biometric authentication system that allows you to log into Windows using your fingerprint or facial recognition. If you use a fingerprint reader or IR camera to sign into your PC, this service is essential. Disabling it will break biometric login entirely. However, if you log into Windows with a traditional password or PIN and never use fingerprint or facial recognition, this service is running in the background consuming resources for a feature you're not using. The decision is simple. Do you use Windows Hello Biometrics? If yes, keep this one. If no, disable it. Double click it, set to disabled, click stop, apply, then OK. Scroll down and find Windows Search. This is a nuanced one that deserves careful consideration. Windows Search runs a continuous background indexing process. It monitors your files and builds a searchable index so that when you type in the Start menu search bar, results appear instantly. The indexing process can consume 50 to 200 megabytes of RAM and periodically spike CPU usage, particularly on drives with many files or after a fresh install when the index is being built. Open Task Manager while this service is running and you'll often see search indexer.exe consuming noticeable resources, particularly on traditional hard drives where the disk activity of indexing is significant. Who should disable this? Users who navigate to files manually rather than searching. Users who have installed a faster alternative like Everything by Void Tools, which indexes files nearly instantly and is far more efficient, and users on older hardware where background indexing noticeably impacts performance. Who should keep it? Users who rely heavily on Start menu search to find files and launch applications quickly, and users on modern SSDs where the performance impact is minimal. If you disable Windows Search, the search bar still works. It just searches in real time without the pre-built index, which is slower. For most users who switch to Everything or Flow Launcher, disabling Windows Search is a clear win. Double click it, set to disabled, click stop, apply, then OK. Press B, find BitLocker Drive Encryption Service. BitLocker is Windows' built-in drive encryption feature. It encrypts your entire drive so that data is unreadable without the correct password or recovery key. It's a genuinely useful security feature for laptops that might be lost or stolen. However, the BitLocker service runs in the background even on machines where BitLocker is not actively enabled on any drive. It's preloaded and waiting, consuming small amounts of resources perpetually. If you are actively using BitLocker to encrypt your drives, leave this service running. Disabling it will cause issues with your encrypted drives. If you've never enabled BitLocker, have no encrypted drives, and don't plan to use drive encryption, you can safely disable this service. It will remain available to re-enable if you ever decide to use encryption in the future. Double click it, set to disabled, click stop, apply, then OK. Now press S, find Sysmain. This was previously called Superfetch in older Windows versions. Sysmain monitors which applications you use most frequently and preloads them into RAM in anticipation of you opening them. The idea is that your most used apps launch faster because they are already in memory. On traditional hard drives, Sysmain provides a genuine improvement. Preloading applications from a slow spinning disk into fast RAM makes a real difference to launch times. On SSDs, particularly modern NVMe SSDs, Sysmain is largely unnecessary. SSDs read data so quickly that preloading provides minimal benefit, while Sysmain itself constantly writes to the drive and consumes RAM that could be used by applications you're actively running. My recommendation, if you have an SSD, disable Sysmain. If you're running on a traditional hard drive, leave it enabled. Double click it, set to disabled, click stop, apply, then OK. Press R and find Remote Desktop Services. If you never use Windows Remote Desktop to connect from this machine, disable both Remote Desktop Services and Remote Desktop Configuration. They serve no purpose on machines where remote access is never used. I'm going to keep this service because I use Remote Desktop to control my PCs from my Mac. Here are several additional services worth reviewing based on your specific setup. Bluetooth support service. If you don't use any Bluetooth devices, no wireless headphones, no Bluetooth mouse or keyboard, disable it. If you use Bluetooth regularly, leave it running. Press P and find Print Spooler. If you have no printer connected and never print from this machine, disabling Print Spooler frees up resources. Note that some software requires Print Spooler even without a physical printer. If any applications behave unexpectedly after disabling, re-enable it. Here's a bonus that extends what we've done in services. Cleaning up leftover startup entries from applications you've already uninstalled. Press Windows plus R, type msconfig and press enter, click the Services tab at the top. Check the box that says Hide all Microsoft services. This filters out all Windows system services and shows only third-party application services. What you'll see is often surprising. Applications you uninstalled weeks or months ago may still have services registered and running. Software that checked in the background, update managers for programs you no longer have, utilities from old hardware. Go through this list and uncheck anything you don't recognize or don't use. Click Apply and OK. Windows will ask if you want to restart. Do so to apply the changes. This is the MS config approach we covered in the Run Commands video, a complementary cleanup that catches what the services window doesn't surface as clearly. After restarting, open Task Manager and click on the Performance tab. Look at your CPU and memory graphs at idle. You should see lower baseline usage compared to before. Click on Processes and sort by memory. You'll notice fewer background processes consuming RAM. The handle count and thread count visible in the Performance CPU section will also show a meaningful reduction on machines that were previously sluggish at idle, particularly older hardware with limited RAM. This reduction in background service load can make a genuinely noticeable difference to system responsiveness and boot time. 11 services reviewed, honestly assessed, with clear guidance on who should and shouldn't disable each one. No blanket recommendations, no disable everything advice. Just an informed look at what each service actually does and whether it's worth keeping for your specific setup. If you disable something and notice unexpected behavior, that's your signal to re-enable it. Open services, find the service, set it back to automatic, click start and apply, completely reversible. Drop a comment letting me know how much your idle RAM and CPU usage dropped after making these changes. I'm always curious what the numbers look like on different hardware configurations. A like and a subscribe helps the channel, and I post practical Windows optimization guides every week. Thanks for watching.